And with that, we'll call the Town of Somerville Planning Commission for September 19th, 2022 to order. First order of business is the approval of minutes from our meeting of August 15th. Are there any additions or corrections to be made to those as they were published?
I move to approve.
Second. Have a motion and a second to approve. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Stand approved. Our first public hearing is a petition by Mary Mead Associates Limited Partnership to annex a portion of Berkeley County TMS number 232-0002-052. Total of 7.76 acres located off Mary Mead Drive and Farm Springs Road. Currently zoned PDMU, Planned Development Mixed Use in Berkeley County, and will be zoned GB, General Business, upon annexation in the town of Somerville's municipal limits, Council District 2. Is there anyone here representing Mary Mead Associates?
Good afternoon, Josh Lilly with Stantec. Simple annexation of a piece of property that's adjacent to some other property. A majority of this will be used for stormwater management associated with the apartment complex that was annexed and went through
What kind of
design.
management?
Stormwater. We're gonna put a pond for offsite stormwater. That was approved through you all for annexation and the design review boards within the last year. So this is just a piece of that. And then on top of that, there's another piece that will be eventually combined with an adjacent general business piece of property to combine one usable good piece of property at the corner of Farm Springs and the utility easement there. Fairly straightforward, but if you have any questions, I'm here to help out.
Okay. Is there anyone else who wants to speak to this issue? And seeing no one rise to the occasion, we'll close that public hearing and move to the next. Request for a major PUD amendment to the Knightsville Track PUD, AKA Sweetgrass Station, TMS number 144-01-00004 and 143-04-00012 to allow the improvements to Orangeburg Road at the site entrance to be delayed until the completion of the 100th dwelling unit, Council District 4. Is there anyone here to represent Mary Mead or the Knightsville Track folks?
There, I'm Chris Campo with Seaman Whiteside, and I have Sarah Hamlin, the project engineer with Seaman Whiteside. We can really answer any questions you may have. Pretty straightforward. It's just tying it into the 100th unit that's built. That was also in the original PUD. We're just cleaning it up a little bit because SU DOT has experienced a slight delay. So this just helps our schedules work out. It's got full support of planning and engineering, and it complies with the traffic impact analysis that the consultant did. So it should be pretty straightforward, but we're here if you have any questions.
Thank you.
You're doing a right and left lane out of Orangeburg.
Right lane into the property
Okay.
and then left.
So you're adding two lanes.
Right, yes, so right lane into the property and then left bound.
Coming
into
opposite
the property.
direction.
It is now Orangeburg. It's just two lanes.
lanes.
Yeah. I went over the yesterday trying to figure out exactly how it would impact things. Has SC dot giving you any information, approvals, anything?
They have. So we've been coordinating with the DOT for a while now on this project, and we had preliminary site plan approved. We coordinated with them, sent them our geometry, had everything labeled out, and they concurred with our plan. So we moved forward with that into further detailed drainage and grading analysis. And throughout that process, we kind of went back to them and said, this is where we are, having some troubles in these areas. And in the time that passed, 2 new projects were proposed further down Orangeburg Road. And in the time that had passed from our original design, they wanted us to work with the other property owners and other engineers to coordinate a 3-lane section the entire length of those 3 projects. So it's gone from a pretty straightforward right and left turn lane into the project to now a major widening down Orangeburg Road. So
And the major change is the timing.
yes, we'll still be doing the improvements. We'll still be coordinating with DOT and Somerville to make that all happen. It's just we're asking for the timeline to get tied to the HCO to the first phase final plat. To
No
allow us
additional
time.
units are changing them.
No, sir.
Not at all.
Thank you.
What's the anticipated completion?
100 unit. Do this, my schedule, do you have?
4
to
years?
2 to 3 years.
Can you help me understand the schedule? Of your project, this one has to be now.
Yeah, so right now, phase 1 is under construction. They've completed
How many units?
phase 1 and 1A is 64 units. They have installed sewer and drainage, are paving the roads, ready to make the connection to Orangeburg. And then in order to go vertical and start building homes, we need to get a final plat of phase 1. It's paved. So they're ready to get a final plat for phase 1. But as the PUD is currently worded, it wouldn't allow a final plat until the turn lanes are constructed. And so that's where the kind of the rub is with the current wording of the PUD is instead of tying it to that phase 1 final plat, which would hold up any construction at all of any homes, it would be to tie it to a later unit count so that they can continue constructing phase 1 while we continue the coordination and construction of the turn lanes.
And when do you anticipate the turn lanes?
So, well, the turn lanes had to be constructed before, if this goes well, the turn lanes had to be constructed before the 100th CO. And so our current schedule would show, I think it'd be looking at 2 years, I'd say, for the kind of, they'd be concurrent timelines, 2 years of phase 1 construction of homes, and then also 2 years of us designing, permitting, and then constructing the turn lanes. So the way we've worked it out is hopefully is that we're done with the turn lanes and then 100 CO, 100 buildings about the same timing, so that there's no delays in the future.
So about 2 years from now.
So what is the construction on your entrance right now that's blocking off out of Orangeburg in the morning?
What's the,
What is the construction going on now at your property and your entrance that they have a right lane closure at sometimes on Orangeburg? That looked like, I
There's a
thought that was your turning.
utility.
I'm sorry.
All the utility types.
Yeah, there's
Oh.
a water main connection that will be made under
Okay.
Orangeburg Road. That would be like that.
Very good. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that wishes to address this subject? And seeing no one, will close that public hearing and move on to the next. We have a petition by Some Bottles LLC to annex TMS numbers 232-0001-024 and 025-1110 North Main Street and 232-0001-029 at 127 Berkeley Circle. 3 parcels totaling 1.388 acres, currently zoned GC General Commercial and RNC Rural and Neighborhood Commercial respectively in Berkeley County, and will be zoned GB General Business upon annexation into the town of Somerville's municipal limits, Council District 2. Is anyone here from Some Bottles representing them? No. Is there anyone that wants to speak to this item on the agenda? And we'll close that and move on to the next. Have a request to rezone TMS number 137-0106-001 333 Old Postern Road, approximately 1.16 acres owned by the town of Somerville from PUD planned unit development to GR2 general residential, 2 units per acre, council district 2. Tell us something about this, Jesse.
Yes, sir. This property is the property that has the existing cottage and barn that were associated with the Woodlands End. And the town is proposing to rezone it to the GR2, which is our large lot, single family detached residential zoning district. The idea was to try and match the zoning of the Gadsden neighborhood as closely as possible.
Okay. Thank you. Is there anyone who wishes to address this?
I'm Christopher Lizzie. I live in the neighborhood. I was just trying to sort through because I saw that you were asking to make it public lands in the request. And then, but then you also asked to have it a GR2. So is it going to be public lands or going to be GR2 for
It's 2
residential?
different parcels.
Okay. And both of those parcels will be residential?
This is the residential parcel that has the 2 buildings on it.
Okay. Then the other part is going to be the
Public lands.
public lands? Okay.
Will be these.
And that will only be allowed to have a single residence on it, not a a GR2 is,
It could have another, it could have another one. It could, it's 1.16 acres, so at 2 units per acre, it could be up to 2 residents on
they could break that up to two residents.
it. They could subdivide it, yes.
Well, the only concern that I would have is that is the entrance of our subdivision and in the entrance of Old Postern Road there. That is so congested at this point because of the town's work coming down and bringing the Old Dairy Road or Maple Street extension through there. And how the traffic is coming down there, that is going to really tie up that entranceway if you would end up putting potentially four residents.
No, they can only have 2.
You can only have 2,
Okay.
the 2 that are there.
And then the other portion, the larger portion, that's not gonna be subdivided at all then, correct?
Not at this time.
Thank you.
Does anyone else would like to speak to this? Please, when you folks come up, please sign the paper there so the staff can.
I also live in the neighborhood and I guess I'm behind the times here. I knew that the city had bought the property or a portion of the Limehouse, I guess the Limehouse, I'll call it the Limehouse property. And then I see that there's 4 acres that I assume the city also owns that you got up for sale. That Robert Pratt's handling. Is that correct or incorrect?
I couldn't speak to that.
That's
I
correct.
can't speak to that. I don't know.
Well, there's a sign up there that offers 4 acres of land that's in the corner of that property. Does that belong to the city or doesn't belong to the city? Can't answer.
Yes, you got it. Yes, on it. Where the sign is, under the sign stuff, you got it, so. West Richardson and corner of Parsons.
Parsons, yes.
That would be, are we talking about the part that's going to be annexed in and changed to public lands?
I'm not sure.
So we don't know whether you own that property or not own that property. What we're
Well,
saying.
the town may well own it, but that's, it's not this commission doesn't have anything to do with that at this time.
So where does the homeowner go to find out this information? If you're making this one subtle change here for 2 acres of land and the city owns how much property there? And are you gonna tie that property up And there's not gonna be a road cut in it to the backside of that property? Or are you gonna leave some space open for a right of way into the back of that land? If you're just talking about changing 2 acres, is
Right.
what, some 15 acres there, 20 acres there total?
Yeah, we're looking.
It just seems to be a lot of property there. Talk to a number of homeowners that are, are close to that property there. I happen to back up to that property on Quimby Street. And nobody knows on my street, nobody knows what the city owns on that side of the fence. How much of it Limehouse that sold it to the city? How much of it is sold? Where does the line go? Am I behind the Limehouse property or am I behind the city property? And if you're gonna sell, or you're gonna change the TMS to offer 2 houses where those current pieces are, I assume you're gonna tear those properties down or you're gonna sell them? Or are you gonna offer them as they are?
These are all questions not for our planning commission. Those would be questions for town council. They're the ones that make the decisions on what gets sold, and the planning commission
Well, I
merely deals
apologize
with
for
the
asking
zoning
questions that
district.
This group can't
No,
answer.
they're good questions. We
That-
are
They just don't know the answers to them.
Well, how can
the residents of the
how
town, just
can
like you are.
how can a resident person that's in that neighborhood be able to find out these type of answers?
Ask your
Unless
town
they
council.
come to here. I don't even know who in the hell my council is.
Well, you need to find that out, sir, and ask them.
Thank you, sir.
I can tell you this map shows the property in question. The property here is the 1.16 acres. The remainder of it is the 29.51 acres that are owned by the town. And the 1.16 acres again is to be sold as residential. The rest of it at this time is being rezoned to public lands. The sign that you're referencing, I believe, is up in this area. I think it may be for the piece that was cut off by the road right of way that goes through. And my understanding is, I don't know this for certain, but I believe it's council's intent to eventually sell that property as commercial, but it is not adjacent to the rest of the property. It will be cut off by the Maple Street coming through. So that is all I know at this time. If you would like additional information, I would reach out to your council member, which would be Terry Jenkins.
And Jesse, this is due to the Maple Street extension coming through this property is why all of this is transpiring, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there anyone else that wants to address this?
Sure where the exhibit went.
I'm okay with the adding the houses to there, but I wonder if the barn and the shed could be like left as old as they look. You know what I mean? Because it's history and I don't want someone just come in out of New York and just wipe it out. You know what I mean? It's history. So if it,
Walter, I think everybody up here would agree with you on that.
I'm okay with adding houses, whatever.
I think that the process from here is we have to agree that it makes sense as residential. And then it goes back to some other board and I think because it's owned by the county the town. I think the town actually via council would have to be the ones who would authorize the sale. And if there were to be stipulations on things like that, it would be up to them to put that into the documents for sale. So probably the best thing to do is once we do this is start burning up Terry Jenkins' phone. He doesn't have anything else to do with talking, so please call.
All right. Is there anyone else that wants to talk to this? Seeing no one, we'll close that public hearing and move to the next, which I think is tied together.
Yes, let me get back to that for you.
We have a request to rezone TMS number 137-0000002 Old Boston Road, West Richardson Avenue and Parsons Road, approximately 29.51 acres and owned by the town of Somerville from PUD Planned Development District to PL Public Lands in Council District 2. This is actual parcel of the previous one. Is there anyone who wants to address this specifically? Seeing no one, we'll close that and move on to the next. Petition by Modco LLC to annex TMS number 14511050047 Louise Lane, approximately 13 acres, currently zoned TRM, transitional residential, in Dorchester County and will be zoned NR, neighborhood residential, upon annexation into the town of Somerville's municipal limits in Council District 3. Is there anyone who wants to talk to this? Seeing no one, we'll close that, move on to petition by Mad Dog Development LLC to annex TMS numbers 145-06-04006 Stallsville Loop and 145-06-05008 265 Stallsville Loop. Two parcels totaling 1.73 acres, currently zoned CG General Commercial in Dorchester County and will be zoned GB General Business upon annexation into the town of Somerville's municipal limits, Council District 3. Is there anyone to talk to this? Seeing none, we'll close that and move on to new business. No street names?
No, sir.
Shucks. All right, first order of business is a petition by Mary Mead Associates Limited Partnership to annex a portion of Berkeley County TMS number 232-0002-052, a total of 7.76 acres located off Mary Mead Drive and Farm Springs Road, currently zoned PDMU, Planned Development Mixed Use in Berkeley County, will be zoned GB General Business upon annexation into Somerville's municipal limits, Council District 2. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the annexation of this.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. The ayes have it. It's unanimous. We have a request for a major PUD amendment to the Knightsville Track Bud, AKA Sweetgrass Station, TMS number 144-01-00-004 and 143-04-00012 to allow the improvements to Orangeburg Road at the site entrance to be delayed until the completion of the 100th dwelling unit, Council District 4. Do I have a motion? So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes. Is there some way that that could be tied into the completion of the 100th dwelling unit or until DOT is ready for this to move forward? Is that,
Hey, Sarah Hamblin again. I think that might be a tough thing to put in writing. They're ready when we all coordinate together and get on the same page about it. So it's not
Oh,
that they're
yeah.
going to say, "Oh, you
I
can't start
forgot
yet."
who I was dealing with. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no, they want this to move forward too. It's just the coordination needs to happen. So that would be my input.
While you're up there,
Good thought, but it's impossible.
what is the coordination issue? Why is there a delay?
So as I mentioned, there's now 3 properties that are involved in these
Mhm.
improvements.
More,
Well, let's
Development.
hear from her. Let's hear from her, please. Go ahead.
So we're the engineer for this particular property and the owner for this particular property. The other 2 have different engineers and different owners. So we as the engineer have to meet with the other engineers, agree upon the design, come up with a point of termination where either we build up to that point, they build up to this point, or one engineering contractor does all of the work and somebody reimburses the other. It's just a lot of different parties. to
But the
work
turning
with.
lanes
That's
that
right.
you're constructing are just going to be for your development. They're
the-
going to
the
do
work itself
additional
is-
improvements for theirs.
So the work itself is to Orangeburg Road. And so instead of just a right turn directly into our property and a left turn in, now the widening will occur from the right turn into ours down to the next 2 properties. So it's a 3-lane section all the way through.
Mhm.
So there's not just that, no, 3 cannot be built independently. All 3 properties have to coordinate together for a continuous section.
And I understand your issues, but I'm concerned for the people who have to drive Orangeburg Road. It's already overcrowded.
Right.
And it seems like in South Carolina, we've gotten into the habit of overbuilding and then fixing the roads afterwards. And continues that process. You're going to overbuild and add 100 units just in your area. And that's approximately 150 to 200 vehicles times how many 2 trips a day. It's a lot more traffic on that one stretch of road. And I think we need to start getting into the practice of building the roads ahead of the projects. And if that requires delaying your project to coordinate with these other people, I would be in favor of that. And I'm,
Yeah, definitely understand your concern. And I guess the one thing I just add before Ted speaks is that
Mhm.
this will, the DOT shares as concern, and this is actually going to end up ultimately being a better design, coordinating between 3 projects. So the delay is a benefit overall to all 3 neighborhoods, and everyone has to drive through there and coordinate that effort instead of having widening, coming back to reducing speed, coming back to a 2-lane section and widening again. It's going to have a 3-lane section throughout. And so by allowing us this delay to coordinate that, it will ultimately be a better design for everyone. And then probably what I was going to add is that.
yeah, and I
try-
understand that. And what I don't understand is why you can't do the coordination with the other people and fix it and build it before you put all these homes and all these cars and all these people in there. That's because that's a bad habit we've gotten into in South Carolina, particularly in this area where it's already overbuilt compared to the roads.
Good pay, kind of get it all done. Usually has 6 months. to Look at it, we did what they requested of us. Now they have delayed it, and these other folks have purchased property, say a year ago. So it puts an undue burden on us to wait for them.
The undue burden on you, though, you want to shift to the people driving on that road, and you're going to put an undue burden on all the people driving by there who don't live in this neighborhood, in addition to the people who live in the neighborhood there.
So
It's-
I'm the owner.
Mhm.
We did everything that we were asked to do. on
And I'm not questioning that. I know this is falling back on you.
basic West Side plans.
Mhm.
For DOT, we submitted them, they pulled a switcheroo on us. After on my roads are built, I'm at a cash high point on the scale. I wanted to go tournament for
Mhm.
the original approval. We actually had in writing from them on what that was, and then they, at the end of our development cycle, switched on us, so
Mhm.
we're way ahead of Mondo, and we coordinate with them. I can't make them, I mean, we're ahead, I've got a.
I feel your pain. I feel your pain, but you're going to be creating pain for everybody driving along there who are innocent people and don't have a stake in this. They don't want to move there. They're just trying to pass by. And it's
Understood, but this is acceptable for the traffic engineer. Traffic engineer brought in to study this, the house, we're done, we paid to have
Mhm.
that done, and basically she agreed, and it's all, basically the math agrees that if this were just 100-unit neighborhood, it's basically acceptable to build this out without the current money. it's a 300 unit neighborhood,
Mhm.
which needs turn lanes, so it was fully justified by
Mhm.
this. So I ask you, please approve it. I've got David on the ground and have to record this plat and move these lots out.
Okay. I understand. Thank you.
Any further? I'll call for the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
I,
Those opposed, like sign.
No,
No. We have. Well, no,
two noes.
two, I think we're dead like 3 and 3.
well, it just goes to council with that.
Yeah, it'll just have to go to the council that way. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I only saw 2 nays. Who was the third nay? Charlie? Okay, thank you.
Charlie.
I should know.
All right, our next,
Tell me what it is.
the next petition is by Some Bottles LLC to annex TMS numbers 232 is 0001024 and 025. 1110 North Main Street and 232 0001029 Berkeley Circle. 3 parcels totaling 1.388 acres, currently zoned GC General Commercial and RNC Rural and Neighborhood Commercial, respectively in Berkeley County, and will be zoned GB General Business upon annexation into the town of Somerville's municipal limits, Council District 3. Do I have a motion?
I second.
Have a motion and a second. Discussion? Seeing none, hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. The ayes have it. It's unanimous. We have a request to rezone TMS number 13701060001 at 333 Old Postern Road, approximately 1.16 acres, owned by the town of Somerville from PUD Planned Development District to GR2 General Residential, 2 units per acre, Council District 2. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second? Have a motion and a second. Discussion?
Yes. The staff has concerns before making the recommendations for annexation. Including, this is that really strange piece of property. And if you've ever been in Briarwood, and go around Summer Court, and there's a.
I think
lane-
I think
You want to hit.
Oh, sorry.
You want to hit.
We're at the
We're on
the Limehouse property.
we're on the barn.
I'm sorry. I'm way ahead.
Yeah. Any other discussion?
Yes, I would like to know if there's some way that it could be emphasized that the 2 buildings that are existing on that property, if at all possible, be saved.
I mean, I can add that to the
You can-
minutes for council to
Okay.
consider, but it would obviously be up to them as to whether they wanted to place restrictions on that.
Type of sales agreement that they would reach. I think that they are historically important and to the property and probably would be to the residents around the area. And they are most unusual buildings. They're quite attractive.
Anything else? All right,
Elaine,
then.
did you want to amend the motion to include that statement, or are you just wanting it to be in the minutes?
Yes, I would like to amend the motion.
One comment if I could. I noticed that the city here in just the last few weeks has run power lines to that property. There, the house and the barn that you're talking of, as well as water lines out there. So the city's obviously got something planned for that property and maybe not tearing them down.
All right, I have a motion to amend. Is there a second to the amendment?
What's the wording specifically to your?
Amend the motion to where all efforts by the potential buyer to save the buildings and use them as in current shape be made. Yeah.
So essentially,
Current appearance.
essentially what your amendment would ask is that they do almost a spot VAR thing there.
Yes. Yes, it'd be great if this were we're in the domain of VAR. But since it's not, but it is of a significant age.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that could be done is that council could put that into the sales agreement. Obviously, we can't make it go before BAR or require anything than we normally would for any type of demolition unless council puts that in the deed or something of that sort.
But if they could substantially remain unchanged exterior.
How old do the house have to be for age-wise? How old does it have to be on the barn?
Oh, they
And that has nothing to do with it. The bar has
there are specific
physical limitations as far as street
Yeah,
as it's.
geographic location has to be to make it an historical district, essentially is what we're talking about. And we have a tendency to do that too much. Sorry.
I think Kevin seconded the amended motion. Correct, Kevin?
Who was the second?
Kevin?
So the amendment has been seconded.
The amendment has been seconded. All right, so this is a vote on the amendment. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. The amendment carries. Now, is there any further discussion on the motion as amended? All in favor of the motion as amended signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. All right. Have a request to rezone TMS number 13700000002 Old Postern Road, West Richardson Avenue and Parsons Road, approximately 29.51 acres owned by the town of Somerville from PUD Planned Development District to PL Public Lands Council District 2. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. The ayes have it. Okay. Petition by Modco LLC to annex TMS number 14511050047 Dewey's Lane, approximately 13 acres, currently zoned TRM Transitional Residential in Dorchester County and will be zoned NR Neighborhood Residential upon annexation into the town of Somerville's municipal limits, Council District 3. Do I have a motion?
Chairman, in light of the fact that no one showed up for their hearing and in light of council's concerns, that's not your staff concerns, I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time with it.
I'm sorry. I'm on the Reese Lane, on that, you guys are talking about. I don't really know what's going on. I just showed up to see what's going on.
Well, we
Well,
would like to know too,
yeah,
because nobody
yeah.
showed up to explain it.
I move we table this until we get answers on those questions.
What,
I don't think we can.
we can postpone it. We can postpone it 30 days. But.
I hate to hold the property owner up.
They haven't done the work.
Yeah,
They need to do a lot of work. It's not ready to be rezoned. In my opinion. Whatever we do here, I mean, they have the right to come back later. and ask. Well, our recommendation to the council, and the council will make the.
Yeah.
decision, council. For the purpose of putting a vote,
but we have a motion on the table to approve. Yeah.
to approve.
No, we have a motion to approve.
Oh.
But if we vote that down, it's disapproval.
Who made the motion to approve? I missed that.
I'll second that.
Oh, I thought that was for the last one.
Now, I have concerns that the property's not ready for annexation.
Oh, I agree.
Confused.
Yeah.
Jesse,
chances
can
of
you pull
this-
it down a little bit? Where it meets Miles Jameson? Okay, thanks.
chances of
How
this-
wide is that lane? Do we know?
There's not a great plat on the property, unfortunately, so it's kind of hard and
I mean, that's an existing road going back.
yeah, I
there,
believe
obviously.
the plat says like 9 feet wide or something. It's not very wide.
Yeah,
Jesse, there's one plat that has got an overlay on it showing conceptual what the structure would be.
Yeah,
That seems to be incomplete. Looks like the road there extends into the community next door.
yeah,
I think with the existing materials that we were given, that we don't have enough information to recommend annexation. I think it's confusing and, if they are to hook into Briarwood, via Dory Court, that would be interesting too. To see what those people.
Yeah.
So they-
all right. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for the question to approve. All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? No. I think it's unanimous that we turn this one down.
See if this is the same.
All right, we have a petition by Mad Dog Development LLC to annex TMS numbers 14506040006 Stallsville Loop and 1450605008265 Stallsville Loop. Two parcels totaling 1.73 acres, currently zoned CG General Commercial in Dorchester County and will be zoned GB General Business upon annexation into the town of Somerville's municipal limits, Council District 3. Do I have a motion?
Motion approved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve. Discussion? Seeing none, hearing
Well,
none.
I wish the petitioner had been here because I have a lot of questions about where curb cuts are going, where the building's going to be. What's the buffer between it and the church next to it? It doesn't look like there's much.
With that's,
I'm happy to answer questions.
Oh.
I'm Brian Cook, but I'm the one that has the property under contract, why Mad Dog is rezoning it. We've currently submitted a plan to TRC review, and our plan is to submit for the next DRB meeting on September 30th. We did submit to DOT to have an entrance on Stallsville, but they would only allow us to right in and right out due to the proximity to the traffic light.
It's a median there.
Yes, so it's gonna be on Bacon's Bridge and shared with the property that has the Marco's Pizza in it, if you're familiar with that.
Mm.
And that entrance is actually on this property and they have an easement to use it, so it'll be a shared drive. But that necessitated that the building be located along the Stallsville Church side, but it's a 190-foot long car wash building. And there's a 15-foot buffer and a 10-foot setback along that side. I don't think we'll be fully even up to that limit of it during the turn that we need to make to get into the building.
So you won't be adding any additional cuts, you're gonna.
I used only the existing cut, that's right, yes.
Okay.
So you come in off of Bacon's Bridge on the right. Go through the car wash, and where's the exit back to that road?
Yeah, you go back out through the Bacon's Bridge.
But how you get there? Because you're going through your building, your car wash, towards Stalls. What happens to the end of Stalls? Where do you go there?
Well, you'll go.
But he's
you'll
got
drive
almost
along
2
the
acres.
church, Then you'll do a U-turn back towards the Marco's Pizza, through the vacuum lanes, and then back out to the shared entrance. It'll just be like a circular.
You go in and out the same place.
Most car washes are a circular pattern because you don't want people, crisscrossing on the traffic flow. You want to move them through efficiently.
Anything else? If not, I'll call for the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign?
No.
The ayes have it. No one. All right.
I'm gonna do this because it's coming forth again. I know.
Does anyone have anything for the good of the group?
Oh, yeah.
If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve. I move to adjourn, please.
Motion to adjourn and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Take the-
I started
take
off
the-
the meeting. When you. Flowers. Very speaking.